Thank you for coming back to Paint It Gold, that show that us, Atmosphere, puts together to answer your questions. So before we get started into any of the questions, there's something I kind of wanted to get out of the way real quick. Anthony?
Sean?
I think I'm going to leak the record today, right now, on the show.
No.
Yeah, I think I should, man.
It's a really bad idea.
I think it's a good idea. Dude, I mean, it's gonna, you know how this shit works. The fucking shit's gonna leak anyway. Like, why not be in control of it ourselves? Take the plane and crash it ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
I'm all with that, but won't we get yelled at Rhymesayers?
Man,
like,
but they won't even know. This shit'll go up before they even see it, and the leak will go out and it'll be on.
no, that's funny.
All right, Anthony, this question is for you. Mark from East Dundee, Illinois, wrote in to ask, when did you start DJing?
I started messing around, I guess, probably in '83. My dad he had some DJ equipment. It was a hobby of his, so I would sneak around when he wasn't around and fuck with his shit and try to like emulate the things I heard Flash and DST do, my heroes, you know, just trying to figure it out. By the time I figured it out last year, it was a good time.
Okay, the mythical monster question of the week comes from Griffin. He's from Apple Valley, Minnesota. And he wants to know, what were your initial thoughts of each other when you first met and started working together?
You know, when we first started working together, I was kind of like, wow, you have like lots of notebooks of songs and raps and stuff. Why do you only have 2 songs recorded?
Ant, the first time I met Ant, he scared the shit out of me, intimidated me, whatever. And I don't think he did it on purpose. I think it was just, you know, Musab took me to his house, and I get there, and immediately it's like this house full of people. And I'm not talking about MCs. I'm talking about like people. Like there's old people, there's young people, little people, dogs, little cats, all these critters running around, all these people. It was like, it's like 3 a.m. I'm going to make a song. I feel like I just showed up at a barbecue. And then I go downstairs to where, you know, the lair was, where the studio was at, and here's Anthony. And that dude intimidated me. You know, it was my first time meeting him, and I'm looking at him like, yo, like, in my neighborhood where I grew up, people that looked like him were like either pimps or they sold bikes or they fucking, you know, they were doing some shady ass shit. So I'm down here, house full of people upstairs. I'm looking at Musab like, yo, why'd you bring me to this dude's house? This dude is in the mafia. Like, and not even like the fucking De Niro mafia. Like, I'm talking about like the Steve Buscemi mafia. Sorry. So check it out. Sam from San Diego, California wrote in to ask, what is the most stereotypical rapper things that you guys do? What stereotypical rapper things, man? What the fuck you trying to say, Sam? Don't make me come out there to San Diego and bust a drive-by on your ass.
A word? Wow.
I'm just kidding, man. I said bust a drive-by. I'm busting drive-bys. That's what it is, Sam. The most stereotypical shit that I do is I grammatical errors and I make up my own slang. You know what I mean? Like, I'll say things that don't make no sense to anybody but me, and I don't give a fuck. What about you? Is there anything that you would put in there?
The first time I made any significant money in this rap shit, the first thing I bought was a fucking Cadillac. Word up.
All right, plenty more questions here, all right? You got it? You dig? You dig? Can you dig it? All right. Joy from Seattle says, when meeting fans, what's the most common misconception that we find that people have about us?
Well, I know for me, I always seem to find people that think I'm gonna be like mean and unapproachable.
Nah, I get the same thing, man.
It kind of bothers me actually, but
people think that we're gonna be in a bad mood. Like they don't realize that I'm the type of guy that sits around and laughs at my own dumb jokes, you know. But I guess I think I know why people think that. I mean, they listen to the songs that we put out there and they hear them, and these songs are not always like happy songs. You know what I'm saying? And so I think people get that from.
But I mean, I don't even talk on the shit though, so it's kind of like. It must be based on like what, the way I dress or something, like it's kind of weird.
I mean, really? Yeah.
I mean, the way I look, I don't know.
Maybe
so,
I think maybe I'll start dressing and looking like you then.
Okay, so Rachel from Wisconsin has a pretty disgusting question, and it is to you, thank God. Where was the worst, nastiest, most vile restroom that you have ever had to take a shit in on tour?
Wow.
Sorry.
All right, before I answer this question, let me just state that I am smart enough to appreciate good bowel movements. And before I get on stage, my butterflies have fangs most times, and I have to shit somewhere like 30 minutes before I gotta go on stage. I probably shouldn't have told you that because now you guys are gonna start hanging out near the bathroom 30 minutes before our set starts.
Watching you throw up and shit.
Yeah, watching me throw up and shit. But if I had to pick the worst bathroom that I've ever had to shit on tour, and I mean worse than truck stops, I would have to say Gabe's Oasis in Iowa City, Iowa. For starters, the walls were covered in paint or something. I couldn't tell. So it just always seemed like the walls were covered in shit, especially since the light was so dim in there. And I hate dim lights in bathrooms because it's like, how do you know when you're done wiping your ass if you can't see? Yo, anyway, this bathroom, not only these issues, but there was no stall or barrier or wall to separate the toilet from the sink. So anybody else that was in the bathroom has to watch and smell you shit. And so here I am, 30 minutes before set, looking at this, going, man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to shit under these conditions. Not to be a diva, but I can't fuck with this. And so I had to get the homie Merce to stand outside of the bathroom and block the door so nobody could even go in. Which, by the way, Merce, that meant a lot to me that day, man. I owe you for that, man. Just like every episode of Painted Gold, we have a pseudo-celebrity question of the week. And this week's pseudo-celebrity question is coming at us from our good homie, Felipe from Los Nativos. Let's run the clip.
What's up? I got a question for Sean. I've seen you do your thing for about 15 years, and over those years, I've seen a lot of different rappers do your backups. Who do you think's been the best?
Word up, Felipe. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've had a lot of MCs on stage helping me out with my chain-smoking vocals. And if I really had to pick who was the best, or who was my spliff star, no disrespect to anybody else, but I would have to say Crescent Moon, simply for the fact that dude was a full listener. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't just get my words and land them right on time, but he would land them right with the energy. He would land them right with even the volume. He would land them right even just physically. Like the dude knew how I was on stage. He kind of knew how I would get up into my shit, and he would compliment even that as well. He did all this without ever going out trying to outshine me. You know what I mean? He was always just trying to accentuate and compliment what I was doing. And to me, that was always like exactly what I needed. I don't need to be outshined on stage. You know what I'm saying? Like I always felt, Ali's been on stage. That dude outshines me. Idea out-raps me. Felipe, you outclass me. You know what I'm saying? Lucky I Am out-cutes me. And Merce out-funnies me. So DeWitt from Sacramento, California wrote in to ask, how has our ethnicities affected our musical journey? Mm-hmm. And that's a great question, DeWitt. I mean,
excellent.
There's not enough time in these webisodes for us to actually articulate the answer to that question the way that I would like to, but I'll try and stick and jab and hit it real quick like this. It's affected way more than just the musical journey. It's affected everything. Music is just another part of the life that has been affected by that. This is where we live. This is a place where people draw a lot of dotted lines and separate each other from each other. Let me say, like, I'm multiracial, if that's what you want to call it. I'm a few different types of white. I'm Native American, and I'm black.
And I'm the same thing.
The neighborhoods that I grew up in were also multiracial like that. And one of the things that I learned early on is that sports and hip hop was a way to break down some of those dotted lines in the neighborhoods. They brought people together, and people were coming and bonding over this music.
Same thing happened where I was at.
I totally saw it. It's like all the white kids, everybody, the black kids, they all would break dance together. They all would, this music brought them together, sports brought them together. And what's crazy, as over time, as we got older and we became Atmosphere, people used our racial makeup to actually separate us and start them dotted lines up again, which I found very interesting because I'm older and I'm looking at all this like, okay, so now they're putting us over there. I'm watching the way the fan bases separate themselves from each other, and it ain't like they didn't already do that to us in the first place. This hip hop stuff was supposed to bring us together. That way the thugs could actually get along with the lesbians who actually got along with the vegetarians, and everybody could just be like happy together with this music thing, but it is what it is. When the cops show up at the party, they look at me and they see a white boy.
When the cops show up at the party I'm at, they always think I'm Mexican.
Well, alrighty then. Once again, that wraps up another episode of Painted Gold, episode number 6. Did you think we was gonna make it to number 6?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for fucking with us. We appreciate it very, very much. Don't forget, if you want to send in a question, you can send it to us at paintitgold@hotmail.com, and maybe we'll get around to it for the next episode. Also, I'm gonna tell you about the record again. When Life Gives You Lemons, You Paint That Shit Gold. Available April 22nd, 2008 in a store near you, or we'll have it with us on tour. When Life Gives You Lemons, You Paint That Town Gold. Check out the cities, man. We're coming to your city, man. You gotta come and fuck with us, man. I'm saying, man. It's like a party.